What is up, everybody? Renfail here, back again with some more World of Warcraft, and today we are diving into the Warrior, for those of you who might be new to this class for the first time. I am not, but it is the first time I've done it in retail, because I previously played, when Classic first launched, I played a Dwarven Protection Warrior, and then in Lich King Classic, I played a Death Knight, which was a lot of fun as well. And I've tanked for 25 years. I've done raid tanking. It's been a long time. I'm an older fellow. I've done lots of stuff. But this is the Warrior in retail as of 2024 for Dragonflight. I've had a lot of fun with this character, and you can play the Warrior in a lot of different ways. I'm going to show you the ways that I play my Warrior. These might not be the same as the other guides you've seen online because I do things a little bit differently. I don't read up on meta specs or meta talent tree rotation optimal. Meh, I don't do any of that. What I think sounds fun to me is what I put onto my hotbar, and then I play my character accordingly. So we're going to talk about it from my perspective. If you're new to my channel, welcome. It's all good. Everybody's new at some point. Like, subscribe, hit the bell icon so you never miss an update. Daily streams happen at 8 a.m. Central Time here and on Twitch. I do a lot of different things between YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, and TikTok, so check out all the links down below. Play a lot of different games, do a lot of different things. Don't forget the Discord, and come join us on the Moonguard server if you would like. Our guild raids 8 p.m. Central on Saturday nights. Normal mode only. Nothing sweaty, no heroics, no mythicals. We're just here to have fun, do the story, and play an RPG. So my character is a protection stance and arms stance warrior. I don't do the Fury style. I could eventually take that if I wanted to, but I really liked the way arms worked. So for a leveling character, for going through the quests and leveling in what is arguably a single player RPG these days, that's how the leveling experience is meant to be done with World of Warcraft, I just stuck to arms stance. And I took arms stance all the way until level 65. Once I hit 65, I went ahead and built out my protection stance. And it's not a stance per se, but the specialization, I should say. I went ahead and built that out, and I started tanking dungeons with the guild as well as running follower dungeons. And now that I'm level 70 and at the cap, I'm currently working my way through the Emerald Dream content to get some better gear. This character is primarily an arms tank, which is a DPS build, but I also have a protection stance specialization that I use for when is necessary if there's no other tanks on and somebody needs me to tank a dungeon. But I am not primarily spec'd as a protection. I may eventually become, like evenly in terms of eye level, I might eventually get even with both sets of gear. But right now, because of where I'm at in the game, having just gotten to 70 a couple of days ago and just now going through the Emerald Dream, I don't actually have two sets of gear. What I have are two different trees of talent specs, and then I do have a good sword and shield that I switch to when I'm using when I switch my stances. Now, if you haven't watched the previous videos on this before we get into the talent spec trees, I have gone in and set up my equipment manager so that my arms set is automatically linked to my my arms set of gear is linked to my arms specialization, and my protection set of gear is linked to my protection specialization, so that anytime I switch specs, it automatically switches my gear over so that I don't have to do any gear swapping. It's very, very convenient. So let's talk first and foremost the leveling specialization, the leveling spec, which for me was arms. So you can pause this video at your leisure to look at how I have spec'd my character. There are a few things I want to go through here and just talk about from a perspective of why I took the things that I took. But if you need a snapshot of how I play my character, how I do my arms build, this is it. Again, I didn't follow anybody's guide online. This was me leveling up my character, looking at abilities and going, ooh, that sounds cool, trying it out and saying, I didn't like that, let's try something else, and eventually settling on a spec that felt right for me. This is not a meta build. Again, this has nothing to do with being max DPS. It was just something that felt good to me as I was leveling. I don't play meta. I play for story and RP purposes. So that's just something to keep in mind. So this is my arms specialization if you go down through the talent tree here. And really, you could take a picture of that if you want. But the most important thing here are these abilities here. I'll run you through the things that are in my normal rotation. So you've got charge, which is great for rushing into battle, overpower, which is great, and I've got it set up so that we could do different things with that, and overpower is more powerful, and so on and so forth. Pummel is my interrupt. Slam is a great additional damage, but most battles, my rotation is literally I use Titanic Throw, which does it throws a weapon at a group of enemies because I have it spec'd so it's more than just single target through my talent trees. I immediately throw and then I immediately charge into combat. I hit them with overpower, and then I generally start cycling. If it's an AoE encounter, I start cycling through Shockwave, Cleave, Whirlwind, and then if appropriate, I will spawn Thunderous Roar. Usually I save that for really big encounters. If it's just 3 or 4, I don't worry about too much. But if it's anything more than 4, I'll hit this. And definitely anytime I'm up against a boss encounter because it's a nice additional bleed. From then, I'll do sweeping strikes, and then we'll start to cycle through all of our single target damaging abilities because we get some additional damage for 15 seconds. And mostly at this point, we're just cycling then through and going, let's stack a Rend on him, hit him with Pummel, do a Colossus Smash, and then just rotate between Overpower, Mortal Strike, and Execute until the mob is dead, and that's pretty much it. I don't really use anything else on my hotbar, even though I have things slotted up here. I don't really use anything other than Thunderous Roar and Sweeping Strike. So there's 6 or 8 abilities I use, and that's really it. And then if we switch over to my protection stance here, which we'll go ahead and switch over now, you're going to see it's going to automatically add my shield and sword. Boom! It switched all my talent specs over, so the hotbars have all changed. And now things are significantly more complicated when it comes to this particular build. Because there's a lot more going on and a lot more situationals. So I have my situationals up at the top, and these are things that I usually reserve for boss fights. I have Avatar, Shield Wall, Last Stand, and Ignore Pain. But we'll get into that here in a minute. Let's look at the talents first and foremost. So if you want to look at how I have ran my talents for my protection warrior. Oh, it looks like I have a couple points to spend. I didn't realize that I hadn't done that at the ding. Let's go ahead and spend those right now so you can take a look at this. Ravager, Indomitable, Violent Outburst. And this is where I say I don't do things by other people's guides. I look at things that sound interesting. I don't use Demoralizing Shout that much. I don't need that. What about this over here? Shield charge, critical strike, chance, shield charge increases your auto attack damage. Oh, I'll take that for sure. And then over here, I've already got that. What can I take? Cruel strikes, critical strike, increase damage by. Oh yeah, we'll do that, and we'll apply changes. So there you go. Quick commercial break, everyone, to celebrate and give thanks to all of these amazing people who keep me on the air full time. Really appreciate the support. All you got to do is join as a member. You get access to private videos. You can also do super thanks on any upload or super chats and stickers on any live stream or premiere you see. And beyond that, don't forget we're multi-streaming over on Twitch now, so you can support over there as well. Thanks so much to everybody. Let's get back to the video at hand. Now you can actually take a screenshot of this. As to what I've taken for my protection stance specialization, right? Now, once you've got a screenshot of that, we can come back here and talk about, again, these are the situationals up at the top. My rotation generally consists of this. Same thing, I'm rushing in, I do Titanic, throw, and then I will either do, depending on what's on cooldown, I will either do a charge or I will do shield charge. Shield charge is my preferred for large encounters, or if it's a boss mob. Shield charge is great. It does a whole bunch of cool stuff. Once I'm in the thick of it, if I've already used shield charge, it gives me a shield block at the get-go because of one of the specs I've taken. But otherwise, I will then pop shield block, which gives me an 8-second block, and these can turn into critical blocks. Shield slam gets 30% buff, which means I'll then start hitting shield slam, and I will immediately start doing shockwave and thunderclap, just rotating those AoEs as often as possible. Anytime that revenge or execute pop up, I will hit those and then just rotate shield block, shield slam, and my AoEs until the mobs are down. I don't have a ton of issues with aggro. I still am a lower level, in terms of eye level. I think at the moment my eye level is only 327, so I just got to 70. I'm just starting to tank dungeons for the guild groups. I would say I hold aggro about 90% of the time. Occasionally I'll lose aggro, need to pop taunt or disrupting shout, which is the AoE. But for the most part, your ability is just as is. As long as you're rotating and keeping on top of your rotations, I've not had any issues with aggro whatsoever. And again, I don't really worry too much about any of this other stuff. I'll occasionally hit demoralizing shout if needed, if things are looking bad. But for the most part, I just soak the damage. It's not that big of a deal. It's really not, because I'm not running mythical stuff. I'm just doing normal and heroics. So I don't really need to get into the weeds too much with all the meta stuff of like, you have to hit that button and get all the damage down, and you don't want to be taking damage and everything else. Whatever. It's just, it is what it is. So that is a quick look at my warrior in World of Warcraft. And again, this was something I started because I wanted to start learning the rotations a little bit and have a warrior in the background in my pocket. I originally thought I was going to do an Earthen Warrior when the War Within came out, but I've changed my mind. I think I'm going to go ahead and do a Bloodspec Death Knight, because I had so much fun doing that in Wrath. Lich King Classic. Looking forward to the War Within and all the things that are coming in the pipeline. But that is a quick and easy guide from a newbie's perspective on how I play my warrior with arms and protection specializations, doing both. Again, the arms was for leveling. The protection I only use when the guildies when we don't have a tank available and we're running dungeons on alts. But we have so many tanks in the guild. That's been a rarity. Maybe 2 or 3 times I've done that. We did it on we did dungeons on Wednesday night. I usually do dungeons, and I ran a few dungeons with this character. But honestly, I was arms stance for like 3 of the dungeons, and then only did protection stance for 2 of them. So it just depends on the needs of the group. But it's a lot of fun. I love the warrior. It's up close and personal if you want to get up in the thick of combat, guide the groups through the dungeons. It's really fun if you haven't done it before. If you like this guide, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell icon so you never miss an update. Daily streams at 8 a.m. here and on Twitch. Do lots of different things, play lots of different games. Check them all out. If you want to come join us, we're on the Moonguard server. We raid every Saturday night at 8 p.m. Central if you want to come hang out. Very casual space, normal mode only, no heroics or mythicals. Just doing for fun and story. If that sounds good to you, we'll see you there. Until next time, everybody, stay safe. Happy gaming.